Hello, 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 everyone. Happy Friday. Friday before Christmas. How is everyone doing today? Good morning, George. Good morning, Patrick. George beating Patrick in this morning. Patrick, how's the weather up by you? It's -8 here, -33 with the wind chill. Dogs having problems with this weather. Finally got them all to pee. Only one pooped, though. They got frozen paw before. Yeah, I was clearing the snow this morning. It is miserable out there. Good morning, Connor. I don't know why I live in this place. Hey, Dave, another Arctic morning, too. Yes, grand rising, Chris. Of all of you in warm weather are smart. Good morning, Anissa. Let's make money today? I'm saying let's not lose money today. We had the numbers out a little choppy this morning, a little back and forth. Looks like the markets are thinning out rapidly. Good morning, Jacob. Yes, Elon pledged on a Twitter Spaces call or a thing last night. I think he violated again SEC rules. Limited audience. You're supposed to file a form 24 hours before you host a call that has material non-public information, but we don't have any SEC. They'll go after something. The only time they'll do something to Elon is after he crashes and burns. Yeah, he did forecast to sell no more shares for 18 to 20 months. So you can't believe a word out of his mouth, though, from my perspective, since he said stuff like that before. But we're going to get possibly the snapback rally finally to set up for more shorts. So, no one was even close, Mike. 550, aka retested 2021 low. No way we go below 440. Ken Susi with the price is right at 1. Thank you. Well, remember, that's why year-off forecasts, you got to revise stuff. Just like I'll give you my forecast for next year. It's going lower. Do I know the end price target? No. My initial price targets are slightly below 3K for the S&P. Can that get revised? Yes. Thank you for putting that in there, George. Good morning, Gary. Good morning, Sterling. Good morning, Martinez. -12, but the sun is coming up. Lucky you, Patrick. It's somewhat cloudy here still. I used to live in North Carolina, but moved to Florida, and it's the best. Well, I'm glad you're... What's the temperature down there where you're in Florida? Are you in the southern part? George the Recorder, good morning. Do you think we'll be more volume next week, or we'll just pick up in 2023? Let's see if we can look at CFL before. Let me get through stuff. We had personal income. Personal income coming in month over month slightly better. Personal spending dropping. Durable goods, huge miss to the downside. PCE, year over year, coming in 5.5. This is a little, forecast was actually 0.1. This says 0.2. This is roughly coming in line month over month. Core, though, coming in line for both month over month and year over year. And that's the big one the Fed is watching right there. So that's still, but the word on the street was, look, it came in line. We're going to pause sooner. / people think a pause is a pivot. So it's still beating the drum out there that they need to pause and pivot sooner. Not saying they won't. I think they might pivot after they pause sooner because things will start deteriorating more rapidly. But still the thing is, oh, well, you know what? I haven't heard this morning. Like, they're not going to hike in February. Bull crap. They're doing 25. Then we will see. The next one is a toss-up. The only other stuff we really have is consumer sentiment and inflation expectations coming out at 9 a.m. So that's about it. Just a preview for next week. Don't know if people, I will be on briefly this afternoon. But next week, it's very light in data, just scanning through here. There's very little market moving information besides, no, there's just nothing. There's nothing. Nothing major. You got like some Fed indices, regional Fed indices. Of course, we always have our initial and continuing jobless claims. But unless something is a huge miss like with that, nothing. There's nothing next week. So what does that mean? It's going to depend on day-to-day news, quiet markets. We have our map already, unless it gets invalidated today, but we have a map for potential double bottoms. Could we trigger a standard rally? Yeah, we a little mixed today. Tesla up pre-market after Elon's Spaces call. Oil up, Russia threatening after the price cap stuff. Geez, politicians are morons. Oil up, Russia says it's going to cut production. Energy, the strongest sector, followed by consumer cyclicals. More things pretty much flat. Fed watch back to 65% for the 25 basis point, the 50 climbing a bit, but no major shift. That was a drop of 5 percentage points, still in fear mode. All right. So we had a little back and forth. You're in West Palm. Very nice. 52 here in North Carolina. Is it going to drop any more, Sterling, or is it going to stay nice there? Good morning, Stafford. Hope you are staying warm. Good morning, options 22. DC, rain and sleet, 41 degrees, and then a drop to minus 11. So, all right. What are we watching for? Same thing from, we had the little numbers come out, 7:30, volatility. Tried to shake it both ways. I'm still keying off 38.70, 38.70.50 to be exact, which we tested with the numbers. We broke down, we rallied up. Here's that 38.70.50 area. So that's my key. I'm just not going to get chopped today. I'm not going to do stupid. And guess what? I don't need to position stuff before we got Saturday markets closed, Sunday markets closed. Just a reminder, for everybody. Where is it? Where did there we go. Just a reminder, today is normal closing time, so nothing changes. I will be on at the normal time. But Sunday markets do not open Sunday night. They open Monday night, Chicago time, 5 p.m. to be exact. For the majors. So, do I need to risk anything with essentially Saturday, Sunday, and I'm talking short-term positions. Long-term, we're still in bearish mode. No, it can always be, I'd rather play it safe and get a potential entry Monday night or Tuesday morning, and I don't need to call low or a high. Too much is going on in this crazy world. Not saying anything's going to happen, but there's too much going on in this crazy world. Who expects 2023 to be quiet? Maybe next week at some point we'll have a predictions week and everybody can put in their predictions. And maybe somebody could be the note taker for predictions just for the fun of it. I hate predictions. Other than my prediction is lower for at least part of next year because of long-term systems. So, don't get chopped this morning. I'm using the harmonics. Right now, we're back in the range from the closing area and the right into the Asian session opens. If we start breaking below about 38.33, I'll shift to minor bearish. Now, if we get some momentum, that's definitely tradable down and up. To the downside, below about 38.33, we do have an advanced clear path to the lows from yesterday. Above this 38.70.50 area, 38.71, we do have partial clear path, and then I target the higher, but not going to get slammed back and forth if we don't have momentum with confirming tick. So that's essentially how I'm looking at it. If we stay in this range, we could go into stop hunting mode. Let's dip it down and snap it back and run it up and snap it back. If that starts happening, just enjoy the friggin' day. Don't do anything silly. Overall, I'm just going to touch on the bigger perspective. Daily cycles still heading up. Weekly cycles still heading down. So mismatched in cycles. We still do have the potential double bottom in play. That's really what I'm focusing on. Now, we get that close above 38.70.50. There could be an area to position when it reopens Monday night for a potential front run long. Because look, the rotation zone is getting out of the way on this potential double. We trigger that then, we could easily retest the 200. Exact same thing I talked about yesterday. Nothing's really changed from the levels I talked about yesterday either. If we do break down with momentum, I watch for a retest of the lows, then 37.74. If the bottom falls out, not expecting it, 37.56. Remember, the only thing on deck is consumer sentiment. And to the upside on the rally, I'd really be focused on this 38.87 area with the declining rotation zone, because so many algos are keying off the 8 or in that vicinity, and that's a harmonic. NASDAQ, again, what's my theme? Don't get chopped. You can see the key levels. This is at the 50%, 111, 130. And then to the downside, I'm watching about 11K. To the downside, we have an advanced clear path to the lows. But again, this, you don't get, see with these snapback things, just don't get, this is the kind of price action I'm going to be wary of. Dip, snap, break, snap, and so those are the minor levels. No potential double in the NASDAQ. Excuse me, cycle's still heading up, but weak, much weaker in the NASDAQ. If we do break down, retest the low areas, take off these little short ones. And if you want the minor levels, if we do break down below that, I would be utilizing these key levels. About 10.8, 10.740 to 10.721. The major level on a rally, if we do get above the 50, I am focused on this blue 62.5, about 11,195 to 1,200. We get the close above that, could be a front run pattern to test the highs, but this is not a strong setup in the NASDAQ. So that's the last one I'm looking at. I'll get to comments in a second. Dow still has the potential double in place. The key level I'm watching on the close is 33,321. Or if we break down, we have 33,065 with the flat 50. We're sort of caught in no man's land. So Dow's really sitting on hands with that unless that double does trigger going in next week. Russell already tested the key levels up here. Russell would just be breakdown from the lows today or breakout from the highs. Let's check the spiders and the Qs. Oh, boy. Come on. There we go. So, little 380.41 on any bullish. This one's easier for because I'll be keying off the close from yesterday, 380.72, which were slightly below. The major support still coming in right in front of us, 379, 379.18 area. So that's, if we do trade down, that's the first key support level. Remember, we have a super wide range bar yesterday, and then below that, 377.86. And then below that would be yesterday's low area, unless you want to use the harmonics to the upside. 381.50 after the gap fill. I'm pulling that. I am pulling that level. I will be utilizing 381.09. Major resistance area would be from the gap fill to 381.09 and then 382.67. Above there's 384.25. The Qs, besides the little gap fill play, back to 266.76. Then I'm utilizing 268.54, 270, to 270.20 about. To the downside, I'm just using the short-term harmonics. And the end, yesterday's low area coming in at about 265.50. and then back to 264, then a retest of the lows. By the way, the minor levels, you'd utilize these. If it did break down, here's the harmonics I'd be utilizing. From Wednesday's highs to Thursday's lows, 260.91, and then you have a major cluster, 259.50, 259.60 area. All right. Where do we sit? Take the NASDAQ down today, form potential double bottom setup for next week. You'd have a potential 4-hour or 1 hour double if you do take it down there, options 22. You don't have a bigger double. You'd have to come down here and get a 4-hour or 1 hour double. If it does come down there, that looks like it would be valid. So that's something you can watch for. But we cover it this afternoon if that's set up. This is not even close to being official. I'm just seeing where it would play out. And yeah, it would play out if it does pull back into this low area. The projections would line up. And that would be a retest of Wednesday's high area. But we don't have that set up yet. You can definitely watch for that. Gary was hoping for a pop in the euro. Pop in the euro. Currencies have gone to sleep right now. I was watching for a little breakdown play, but cycle's now at the daily bottom. So now I'm focused. We've got back here sort of neutral. It's either the breakout or breakout down play for next week. I'm watching 106.60 for the breakout and about 105.80 for the breakdown. Today, sit on hands in the currencies. The pound's pulling back, still watching for a reconnection with the 50. What else do we have? Oh, notes. There's just breaking down now below the 50, but I'm watching for a pullback next week, potentially this 112.03 area. Dollar index stalling and going flat. Yes, we still have the potential double in play, but we need the close above 104.53. Other than that, nothing. VIX, today. Crude, with this breakout move, just watching for the retest of the 50, but there's no great, we could be getting a nice ABC correction pattern into this high area and then a longer term rollover play with crude cycles back at the top getting overbought. So I'm watching for a rollover play or something setting up next week, but there's nothing yet. There is nothing yet besides this potential double on the 1 hour. That's the only thing for a shorter term breakout play, and that only takes us back to that 74 area. And that's not even confirmed yet. So that's the only short term play, but it pretty much, not quite, I'll have to do the math, but I think it might be getting validated if we hit the 50. What else do we... Why is it called a percent B buy? Because this is a percent B indicator right here, these red lines. It's based off the Bollinger Bands. So it uses a percent B indicator, which is derived from the Bollinger Bands. And I think Sterling answered it. Good morning, John. Christoph thinks we flush. Low in 21 in Dallas. That is cold for Dallas. But you guys are going to heat up, warm up again at least. We're going to be stuck in this horribly cold weather through next Tuesday. 17 in Houston. Glad the power's holding up. Glad the power grid did not collapse in Texas. What else do we sit with? Bitcoin and Tesla. Bitcoin, nothing. Bitcoin is absolutely flat. So Longer term, we're still in a downtrend. Other than that, just waiting for something to happen. Would not force anything in there at all right now. Tesla, again, very oversold. Cycles pinned to the bottom. If you look at this on the weekly, look at this. Very overextended, weekly oversold. I am going to be watching not just for today, but for some kind of snapback rally and then another rollover play. So, today, as long as if the market gets weak, I'll watch for the gap fill play. Other than that, today, if we start breaking above about, wow, I mean, this is where this is just so far above about 128. I mean, right off the open. But above about 128 prior harmonic area, you're into a clear path, and I'd be focusing on this 1 hour rotation zone. And if you're trying to play Tesla today, here are your key levels: 131.51, 133.82 to the upside. And I'd focus on this 1 hour rotation zone, and both the 50 and the 62.5 are within that 1 hour rotation zone. Let me get the CLF for Royal Palms. CLF. Again, you're closing above key resistance yesterday. So you're getting the breakout play there. As long as 1650 roughly holds, you're going into a clear path move. You already filled the first gap yesterday. My first target would be to this next gap fill at 1803. Personally, when I see a gap fill to 18 or anything just on the other side of a round number, I target my gap fill for this would be about 1797. And you have the 50% prior harmonic at, at 1834. So that's some pretty resistance area. But if this does make a run, my major target would be into this topping area back from August and the declining 200. So if you're trying to trail out for more, if we're looking at the harmonics, and look at that, right, with the 87.5. So what you're going to want to see in the next couple days, whether it does that today or not, is a close above 1717. Then if you're playing for a bigger, you have the percentages then that shift to tackle the 87.5 and the 200 area. So the gap fill could always be used as partial profit taking or as stop raised, but definitely one of those two, if not both. And then you could target that 87.5 and declining 200 area. My key stop, not in this, but my key stop would be on a closing basis back below 1650. If you want a little more conservative, I'd put it below 1610. Why? Not only is that a 50% harmonic that just failed, you also have then a gap fill to the downside. So that's your key stop area. I'd actually make mine back below 1610. Give it a little more room. You got cycles at the bottom moving up. And the weekly, definitely on that gap fill area. Do not ignore the 50. Also as a stopping area for raising stops. But that's going to be right around that gap fill on the daily. So that's exactly your breakout play to the upside. And even a great stop level. So reward to risk could be pretty decent if it can get that full target of the 200. All right. Got a couple minutes to the open. Again, I will be back for a quick session this afternoon. My advice today is don't get chopped. If we get momentum off the open with confirming tick, it can be played. Just be careful. Don't waste money right today. You're better to get it in a position, for next week, starting Monday night, Tuesday morning, and then if we get that key pattern triggered, Ride it for next week. Yep. Happy holidays, everyone. Again, I hope I see people this afternoon for a quick wrap up so we can give our holiday wishes, and then we get a couple days off. There will be no live streams on Sunday, of course. I will do a one on Monday afternoon, though, to help prep us. With that, let's just see where the tick opened today. Let's see. Oh, see. Roughly in the neutral range. No extreme opening on the tick. Slight negative opening, but nothing major. I guess the only thing we have is this little mini double, which is valid right now off the open on a 5-minute time frame. But it's not even confirmed yet. All right. I'm going to be wrapping it up. Happy holidays, Royal Palms. You're welcome, Nisa. Happy holiday, Christoph. See everybody this afternoon that can tune in. If you can't tune in, well, remind me this afternoon if you can tune in, Sterling, HPK. We'll look at that. And again, it won't be a long session. Let's just have a nice time today and then just touch base before the extended holiday weekend. With that, bye for now.